because just not having that. This is a nice little jaunt too. This will loop us back around. We'll head back up the one we came down earlier. Drop down on these nice redwoods, a little bit of eucalyptus peppered in. Smells super nice. Oh, yeah. Oh, that hurt. Never ride touring bikes, so I'm guessing like these little bumps and those potholes and dips and things like that, like, have a smaller effect on those bikes. I'm thinking they're a little bit cushier. The support suspension on this is great. They don't have significant dive from the front end. Most of the time on smooth stuff it's really comfortable, but yeah, these bumps hit pretty hard for the most part. They'll definitely keep you awake, which I guess is a good thing, right? I don't know. Let me know if you live somewhere with some nice, smooth, windy roads. Well, let's see, back in fall, I think it was October, went for a nice ride up the California coast, north of San Francisco. Went up to probably about up and across to Santa Rosa, and hit some pretty nice sections up there. And the roads were not too bad. I was able to get ahead of most cars and just had a really smooth ride. So. Also out here, a lot of these roads after winter are kind of shut down from the storm. So like if I keep going straight here, you can go for a little bit, but then it's just shut down and you got to turn around and come back. But you know what? Since that guy's heading up, I'm going to go down here and then I'll turn around when we get to the closed off section. Which I don't do this very often. Nice road though. Yep, bikers were a little bit in the middle of the street there, which when you're going that slow is not great around these corners. It's really, I'm leaning into these corners and I can't see what's around the corner. I had kind of seen them just ahead of time, so I knew they were there. But yeah, these roads are pretty kind of loaded with debris, partially from the eucalyptus, some gravel and rocks. And here's those other bikers. Yeah, this is about it. Inspiration point. Hope you feel inspired. Okay, we'll rip it out of here. Let's see here. We So far, I'm running this bike fairly stock. Got a tail tidy, some tank pads, a few things like that. And I'm running an Austin Racing dual exhaust on it, which improves the sound on this thing a lot. It altered the power just a little bit, and I haven't decided whether I'm going to do a little bit of tuning. If there's any weak spot in this bike, it's this kind of like odd mid-range, slight power lag, mostly in those upper gears, 5th or 6th gear, on the freeway when you just want to roll it on. And, you know, it's really more of a gearing issue, but Rottweiler and a couple other tunes will account for that and even that out just a little bit. So I haven't decided if it's A, worth the money, and B, worth not having the bike for a while, sending in the ECM for a tune. So generally, power's great in most places. So, and you know, if I have to downshift, I can. And I do have a quick shifter and track pack, so I can always just stomp on it and get out of a situation if I need to. It's kind of what happened back there on that wheelie. I just turned wheelie control off, so prior to that, the bike gets about, I don't know, 15 degrees, 20 degrees off the ground, and that's about it. So it'll just pull. So I've got the wheelie control off, and I've got the quick shifter happening, and so get past them. So I hit that wheelie, and it was cranking, and it kept coming up, which is fine. I haven't been used to that because I've had the control on, and missed one of the quick shifts, so got a little abrupt there. Not a big deal, but could be a little smoother. Gorgeous day though. Couple layers and you're good. Not too hot at all. Sun feels good. Nice breeze. Yeah, so like 4th gear, 4,000 RPMs, up a hill, and if you open it up, you feel that lag a little bit. That's not the bike, it's just the wrong gearing for the situation. Third gear, whole different story, right? Okay, back where we came down at, so pretty good. Yeah, this thing will just crank that front end up, just straight acceleration. You just got to kind of keep an eye on it because you're, you know, when you're not in a straight line, that front end is those steering wheel is going to twist up a little. So you got to be comfortable with that if you're going to bring that front end up, which I think is actually kind of fun, but not for everyone, maybe. It's just my theme of the day. It's like putt-putting behind people around blind corners. Yeah, the city decided through COVID to block all of this off with these logs. And these are very frequented view spots. You can see the entire Bay Area. So you can kind of see that through that canyon there. Well, apparently there were some people like, you know, drinking, shooting off some fireworks, things like that. But all those things are illegal out here, of course. So instead of policing it, they decided to block it off for everybody so that nobody can enjoy the view, which is a pretty phenomenal sunset, the night city lights, just the whole thing. So they just started dragging all these logs in here to block it off. But all the signs still said you could park there until I think it's 10 or 11 at night. So it was kind of odd. Like they were blocking it off, but there were no signage to say anything. People continued to park, and what ended up happening was people were parking, say, across the street from it, and then trying to walk across the street, right? And hold on, I had to get past that guy. And so they'd be around blind corners crossing the street there because the view side was blocked off. It's kind of ridiculous. And then after all that, they put up signage. And guess what? Still not policing it. And people love the views. So lots of people are there. I think people have kind of pushed some of the logs out of the way. You can see them all here chained together. And you get knuckleheads like that trying to back in. It just caused a lot of issues because there's specific parking for those areas. It's never been a problem. And there's no place where you can get a view like this. So basically, I think mostly what they did is just make it more dangerous for people. You know, for the law-abiding citizens, it took away their option for views. And for the rest of the people, which turns out is probably 75% of the people, they end up doing stuff that's kind of unsafe, like stopping and backing into spots around corners and parking across the street and walking across the street around blind corners and just endangering everybody. Then again, I always keep in mind that, like, when I'm out here on these roads and these corners, I'm typically going probably a little over the speed limit. I don't look down very often, so not sure. But I know that around blind corners, I can't just push it like I'd want to. I need to be a little bit cautious. There's bikers, there's pedestrians, there's people doing stuff that's not very legal, like that. And so, and within this whole experience, trying to be as courteous as possible with people who are barely moving down the roads, and not often pulling to the side to let people pass. So, we got an Amazon guy. Okay, so that was no braking, just engine decel. probably about to the tune of 30 miles an hour or something from that. So this is the one section that's actually pretty smooth. You're like 3 corners, and then boom, you're down to a stop sign. That's all right. I will take it, my friends. I will take it. I don't know if you guys have used a quick shifter before, but I do find that even though I've got it and stuff like that, I'll often use a clutch. It's just a little bit smoother, and I'm not like hard accelerating or decelerating in the same way. So, but I will say, like, getting onto freeways and things like that, nothing more fun than a quick shifter. Just slamming through those gears. You're doing 90 by the time you get to the freeway, and then around here you usually have to slam on your brakes because everybody else is doing 45. But what can I say? It's what we do, right? It's not about how fast you get to someplace. It's about that journey along the way, right? The curves, acceleration, even the deceleration, and people riding on the wrong side of the road. Always nice. Oh yeah. So sometimes I'll buzz off to the left. There's a couple other routes through there. Similar quality of streets. Some of it's even worse. And similar beautiful views, some lakes, lots of forested stuff going on. But yeah, today I'm just going to head back home. Still got a half tank of gas, but time to call it for the day, I think. All right, so not all curves are created equal. This section from here on down is narrow, curvy, and pretty tight. So really, like, always keeping my eyes peeled for people backing out of driveways and people coming around over their lines and things like that. In addition, it's like starting about here, I think, and just around this next big corner, you're pretty much in first gear going down this stuff. A lot of downhill acceleration, and yeah, just junk on the roads. Guys were actually doing a good job on their side there. Not always the case. Just because, like, when cars do park, it doesn't give you much space in terms of their mirrors and things. These streets are narrow. I mean, it's hilarious that they actually took the time to paint a double yellow up this thing. It's barely a 2-lane road. I don't know why they put a double yellow line up this thing. It's kind of funny. Man, I would much rather them spend the time smoothing things out a little bit, fixing a couple potholes, than painting lines. I say that in that the street I live on, just down from here, is similar and has 0 lines on it. So I don't know what this one used to have lines. It also used to not have holes. Apparently, they don't care about that too much. This intersection's just been beat up forever. All these, like, there's gravel and potholes, and it's just But you'll see we'll veer off here to the right, and then all of a sudden, all these lines disappear. See that? Beautiful. All right, that's about it. Signing off. It's been a nice ride.